Hello, checking in with first quarter of Canto 12, where we're back with Orlando and he is searching for Angelica, and he hears a scream at the end of the last canto, and in this canto he comes upon a knight with a woman. However, there is definitely that thing of it's interesting that it opens with him being compared to Circe's searching for his daughter, which isn't named but is Prospina. It's basically the pomegranate girl. She gets abducted by the god of the underworld, and this is why she eats something in the underworld and she has to stay there for 6 months of the year or something like that, which is why we have seasons, because when she's not with her mother refuses to come out and give fertility and all this stuff, god of the crops, all that stuff. So this is why we have seasons. So he gets his kind of like searching for her, that kind of grief is where he's at. Like, yeah, she's like, two pines at last uprooted in her grief, and she's raking the entire world until she finally discovers that her daughter has been abducted to the underworld. So yes, Orlando comes upon this brute who's he's looked for her in France and now prepares to search Italian shores in Germany, and next new and old Castile from Spain, where there's a ship to Libya he will cross the sea. But as he ponders his plans, he hears the plaintive voice, and there's this knight with somebody. And, it's interesting how the thing qualifies that at this point. He says, "It's Angelica." And the narrator says, "I do not say myself that it was she, but that she seemed to be the one he loved. So when his lady and his goddess he beheld, as he believed, Orlando moved by violent and frenzy agony of mind, and, promised to, capture her. And the woman, whoever it is, says, 'Oh yes, please help me, please help me.' That, it's gonna, and the guy apparently rides like the wind, gets to this costly mansion and goes through a golden door. He goes in the door and searches around and cannot find anybody, cannot find anything. And he goes outside onto the grounds, and suddenly he hears Angelica's voice saying, 'You've got to save me, you've got to save me. He's going to take my maidenhood just like, within your hearing.' And he goes back in and he's searching, but he cannot find her. It's at this point the narrator reveals, yes, and also Ruggiero is also searching in this mansion, and a bunch of other and he cast down with care, not knowing to do, in similar bewilderment and pain, Grassado, Bradamante, Ferru, and Scarpante the Circassian, with other cavaliers, go wandering through the place as they bitterly reproach its owner for evading their approach. And Ruggiero as well is also searching, and this is where yes, he hears, Orlando hears the thing, and Ruggiero, who is looking for no sooner has Ruggiero stepped inside, and Ruggiero is searching for, because I'm trying to keep the names in my head. Yeah, now he's Lady of Dordogne. So that's the place, Dordogne, a river in western France, which doesn't give me much information, but he's also searching for this thing in vain. And what we find out is that Atlante of Carina has sought to lure Ruggiero, for he hoped to help him keep him tied to that sweet pain and longing. To ensure his mad ambition, he would put aside an early death in combat, thus abjure. And since Alcina and the castle had both failed him, giant castle at the beginning, now he's this new method, which is this place that's got this spell on it, which makes him think that the woman he is pursuing is there. And he's also decided, of course, I'm going to suck up a whole bunch of other knights at the same time. So first one and then another knight he drew by various means. For their sustenance he'd furnished and equipped the place so well, his noble guests with pleasure there might dwell, but, have to stay at this place. But now we're going to go back to Angelica once more, because, she has the magic ring, which on her finger renders her secure, and in her mouth makes her invisible. And she found food and a horse and some clothing. And now it's her plan to once more claim her kingdom if she can. She doesn't want anything to do with any of these idiots, Orlando or anybody else. She wants to get back home to her kingdom if she can. So yes, we'll start on stanza 24 next time and see where it goes from there.